Hello, I'm 𝗫𝗫𝗃𝗃. Welcome. Today I'm going to be designing a 2-page spread in this journal that will serve as my journal for future tarot and oracle deck interviews. Now I've pulled out some ephemera that I've had laying around for quite a while. These are two cards from an oracle deck I no longer use, but I love the art, so I wanted to use at least one of these images. And these are little stickers I've gotten from various shops on Etsy and Temu and Alibaba and all that. And I'm just going to kind of throw them all down on the page and decide where I'm going to put them. So this is a large card and the page isn't that large. I'm going to go ahead here and trim it down just a bit. The first trim most likely is not going to be the last trim, but I don't want to trim it too small and then interfere with the image. Because I definitely want to get that rose and the golden light around the rose in my collage here. So I'm just very carefully cutting it on all 4 sides. Naturally, this is sped up now. I wish I could cut this fast. Now, tarot and oracle cards are created usually on very thick cardstock. You can very carefully, from one corner of the card, peel back the back image of the card from the front image. And you just go very slowly and carefully like I'm doing here, okay? Really take your time with this. You don't want to strip the image of the side you want to use in your design, but you want to be sure to get enough paper off of that image so it's not going to be overly thick in your spread and won't create a lot of additional bulk in your journal. So this is what I'm doing. I'm just carefully peeling the back of the card off the front of the card. So there's the back, and here is the front, which is now half the thickness it was, but we can make it even thinner. And the way you do that is you get some water and a paper towel, or here I just grabbed a Kleenex because I didn't have a paper towel handy at the moment. You wet it down fairly well. Now be careful not to soak the card, okay? You don't want the moisture to soak into the image on the opposite side. But what we're doing here is using the moisture to rub off excess paper. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just rubbing, and that paper is pilling up now, and I'm able to rub it off of the front image here, thus making this little slip of paper even thinner. So now it'll create even less bulk in my journal. And this will come off in little crumbs. So I do recommend that you don't do it over your journal like what I'm doing here, because all those little crumbs are going to get in your journal. I just swept them all away, but yeah, that'll happen. So then there's the front of the image. You can see how thin it is now. And I am going to wet it down just a little bit more because the right-hand side of that image of the rose has got more paper on the back than the left-hand side, so I want to try to even it out as best I can. You know, it's basically an experiment, really. This next bit here is sped up as I add the deco to the page here. Now, I did cut it a little short on that right-hand side, so I'm just going to go back to the roll and cut off a little piece, and I'll be able to add it, and will you be able to tell I did this? Probably if you look really close, you know, but I didn't want there to be a large gap up there at the top right-hand corner. And now I'm looking at my washi to get another roll that's thin, but of a contrasting color, to run it down each side of what will be a 2-page spread here. This spread will be what will contain the interview card spread. Now it's time to check the image of the rose to see if it's dry. And it's dried off now, but you can see how thin it is now, and it's wanting to crinkle and curl because of the moisture that was added to the paper. That's totally normal. Once I use my adhesive to adhere it to the page, it won't be a problem. And this is about where I'm going to put it. Now at this point, I'm just moving the ephemera around a bit to see what looks good with what other piece of ephemera, where's the best place on the page to place the pieces, and so on. And I'm also trimming down that rose image a little bit more because I don't like all that dark color around it. But again, I have to be careful not to cut off too much of the gold and to leave enough of the dark color so the contrast shows up. And then that image I got from 𝗃𝗍𝗵.com, I've just cut it in half. And I'm only going to use half of it. Still trying to decide where everything's going to go, but I think I've got a much better idea at this point. I do realize this tag is a little large. I'm going to trim it down ever so slightly on all sides. And I'm just following the original shape of the tag as I trim it. So this is just something you eyeball, that way I'm not using any lines of pencil or anything like that. Now I'm using the reverse side of a sheet of stickers. Sticker backing paper is valuable. Keep it when you go through your stickers because you can use it to store other stickers on top of because those stickers will not permanently adhere to that backing paper. You can also turn the backing paper over and use it as scrap paper when you're using your adhesive tape runners. And that way you're not getting any of that tape on your journal page or on other bits of ephemera. It just stays on the back side of that sticker backing paper. And now I'm just trimming a bit of the dark background off of this image of a card spread because, again, the image is just a little too big, and plus it's black. I don't want it to detract from the black washi across the top of my spread. So I just trimmed it a little bit. And then this is a sticker. And I believe, yeah, this sticker comes from Rose-Colored Earth over on Etsy. I don't know if her shop is still open or not. I got this from her a couple of years ago. So see, I'm just arranging, rearranging, just moving things around to see where it's going to look good. And then once I get it the way I like it, I'll get my adhesive runner there and glue them all down. There's a trick I learned from someone's YouTube channel. It may have been Margaret Miller. I'm not positive, but once you figure out where you want your bits of ephemera in your spread or your layout, take a picture of it with your phone. Then you can pull everything off and refer to your phone regarding exact placement of all the items. And then you just reproduce the layout that you had just a few minutes ago. Because otherwise, you're going to forget. I guarantee it, you are going to forget. So photograph it first, then pull everything off and recreate it. It'll be so much easier. It'll go by so much faster. And also, you won't be sitting there taking more time with it, second-guessing yourself, because you're recreating a spread that you were pleased with. So it saves on time. This is a Pentel Sign Touch Pen. These are available at Amazon. I will link to them below in the description. All Amazon links are affiliate links, and I would appreciate you using them very much. I get 1% to 4.5% commission at no extra cost to you, and I appreciate your support of my channel. Here I am doing some hand lettering for the title of this notebook. So this is basically, I'm treating this as a title page, even though it is still an interior page. But remember, I've repurposed this journal. I'm not using it for the original purpose I had intended for it. So this is going to be the new cover page. These pens are great. They have a food tip 𝗏𝗏 tip. I don't know how it's pronounced, F-U-D-E. And that means the tip of the marker is extremely soft and it bends with pressure. So to get this look of calligraphy here, which is called faux calligraphy, you use very light pressure on the upstroke of your letters, heavy pressure on the downstrokes. You see that? Heavy pressure, light pressure, heavy, light, heavy. That changes the thickness of your line, and it gives you that pretty faux calligraphy look. And that's how I create the entire title, which is going to be 𝗦𝗸𝗏 and Oracle Decks. And you just, again, take your time, nice and slow. If you'd like some tutorials on how to do faux calligraphy, let me know. I'd be happy to provide them for you here on my channel. Just drop a comment. And this I recorded in real time. This is not sped up. And it just requires patience and a steady hand. And then on the opposite page, I will be writing the year 2026. And I'll use a tilde after it because more than likely I will not fill up this whole journal in the year 2026, even though it's going to be the journal for my deck interviews. But, you know, we'll see. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. But I really don't think I will. This journal's got like around 300 pages. But there you go. There's the full design. Let me know what you think of it. I do have a couple of empty spaces. Not sure what to do with those. But I really like how this has turned out, so I'll probably just leave it alone. I hope that you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, please give the video a like. And if you're not subscribed already, please consider subscribing. I upload on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So thank you for watching. I appreciate you all. Wishing you a blessed day ahead.